Welcome to all in your NCRT e-teaching YouTube channel. I am Dr. Kailash Mina, going to explain the topic packaging of DNA helix from class 12th biology chapter 6 molecular basis of inheritance. In this chapter I have delivered 4 videos previously. The first video was about DNA, the general structure, and second, third and fourth videos were about the search for the genetic material, and those 3 videos dealt with the experiments related to the search for the genetic material, and those experiments are very important for class 12th biology board examination perspective. Now here is a comparatively easy but important topic, the packaging of DNA helix, and it is very interesting also. How? Because from class 8th onwards, when we came to know about cells, nucleus, chromosomes, chromatin, we always heard about DNA, RNA, protein, DNA, RNA, protein in every class, more or less. But now we came in class 12th biology, and in this video everything will be clear to you, that in nucleus what happens, where is the chromatin, where are the chromosomes, what is the relation between DNA and chromosomes, how DNA is related to chromosome, and how it is packaged together. Because in general we make nucleus like this, and when it comes to chromatin we make chromatin like this, and we assume that okay, DNA fiber must be in the chromatin and it will be spread like this in zigzag way or random way, but this is not the case. DNA is packaged in very systematic manner in several folds. So if I use term that DNA is loosely packed or compactly packed, that loosely packed DNA is also very compactly packed. So you will come to know every concept about the packaging of DNA. It is very interesting for you. So after watching this video, never say that I don't know about chromosome, DNA, what is happening in the nucleus. You must have a crystal clear idea, and to explain your junior students also which are curious. Now coming to the topic. So what is our aim? After watching this video, you must be able to explain how DNA becomes sufficiently compacted to fit inside the nucleus and distinguish between euchromatin and heterochromatin. You also have an elementary idea of euchromatin and heterochromatin in class 11th biology also, when we discussed about cells and cell cycle. Now we need some previous knowledge because it is the 5th video of the chapter. So what is the role of DNA in a cell, and what are the major differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell? This is very important. So I do recommend every student from class 9th to 12th that if you are studying any topic in biology, please make sure that you are able to distinguish between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. This is most fundamental question. So now let me explain to all of you. It is very simple also. A prokaryotic cell has no compartments, only having cell membrane and cell wall and the nuclear material in the form of nucleoid. But if prokaryotic cell do not have any nuclear membrane, it doesn't mean it do not have anything like eukaryotic. It have everything but without compartments, simply. And a eukaryotic cell have so many compartments, one for energy production in plant cell, one for food production, one for food degradation, one for making proteins, one compartment like endoplasmic reticulum, and one for making fats, one for transporting things. So there are so many compartments. In the same way, there is compartment also for the DNA and chromosome, and this compartment is called nucleus. So today we are going to demystify the mystery of nucleus. So do not delve into or go into these text, because that text must be overwhelming for you. First go to the visual aspect of the topic, then I will elaborate the text. So this is DNA. I am explaining from the day 1 or from the lecture 1. So the width of DNA is 2 nanometer. It is obvious from my previous lecture also, and this is homogeneous also because of the purine pyrimidine hydrogen bonds. Every purine is connected with another pyrimidine, so the width of the DNA is very uniform. Now this 2 nanometer DNA is here represented by this thread. So this thread means 2 nanometer DNA. Now this 2 nanometer DNA is packaged with these red colored proteins, and these proteins are called histone proteins. You must have listened these protein about these proteins in class 11th biology when you were studying the chapter number 8, the structure of a cell. So the histone protein, not to mention here that it is composed of 8 subunits, histone 2A, 2B, 3 and 4, and then double copies of that 8 units, and it is also called octamer because proteins composed of 8 subunit is called octamer. So this DNA which have width of 2 nanometer is wrapped around these histones. What is histone? Histones are proteins in chromosomes or in chromatin. For now you can understand. So DNA is packaged along with histones in case of a eukaryotic cell which have nucleus, and then sequence in a series you can find histone. So the complete DNA, the long thread, very long thread, is wrapped around histone, again wrapped around histone, then again wrapped around histone, then again wrapped around histone. Here you can notice one more thing, that this yellow structure here, this is also histone. Here it is labeled as histone H1. Let me clean the board. So here this is labeled as histone H1. So as I have mentioned that when we talk about histones, there are many subunits in histones. For example, let me write that thing for you. 2, 3 and 4, 2A, sorry, let me write again, 2, 3 and 4, to 2A and 2B. So there are 4 types of histones in histone octamer. Why 4 types? Because this 4 into 2 is equal to 8. So 8 is for octamer, octa. You are comfortable with the octa term in chemistry also. So 8, 2A, 2B, 3 and 4 and double copies, 8 octamer, and then 1 histone H1. Because you must be wondering why I am taking 2 and 3 and 4, not 1. Here is the 1, the histone 1. So histone 1 is here. So it is what is this doing here? Because let me explain one more thing. So this width, the width of these beads is roughly 10 or 11 nanometer. So if this thread has the width of 2 nanometer, you can compare easily. This width is 11 nanometer. What is nanometer? You all are aware, I think, and if you are not, let me explain that also. So what is nanometer? It is 10 to the power minus 9. 10 to the power minus 6 is micro, 9 is nano. It is reverse of billion. So we have 9 zeros in the billion, so it is minus 9. Viruses are in nanometers, bacteria and cells and things are in micrometers, and the lines in our scale, these type of lines in a scale are millimeters. So you can see millimeters and centimeters and meters with your naked eye, and I am talking about micrometers and nanometers. So we are talking about nanometers. So it is very fine measurements, you can only imagine. So here we approached with 11 nanometer. So this is also called 11 nanometer fiber if you take the width. So from 2 nanometer to 11 nanometer, I think you have understood now. Then this structure is also called beads on string, and let me show you one diagram from as it is from NCERT, and figure number is also same, 6.4b, the EM picture. What is EM? Electro micrograph. So beads on string, so this is the structure, beads on string. You can see here, you can observe the beads. and these beads are the octamers, these octamers. Why we are able to get this beads on string structure, I will discuss it later when I complete the structure of chromosome. So do not distract with those things. So this was very important, because that is why I mentioned the beads on string thing. So when this H1 sticks or attach, you can see the attachment here. So when this H1 attached to these octamers, this wrapping somewhat tilts, and because of that tiltation, this type of structure happens. You can see the spiral behavior of this thing like this. So this is what we call the 30 nanometer fiber. Why 30 nanometer fiber? Again, because of the width. Because of the width, we can say this is 30 nanometer. So 2 nanometer the DNA, 11 nanometer beads on string, octamer plus DNA, and of course the H1. Now the 30 nanometer fiber, and if you assign this 30 nanometer fiber like this, so here you are seeing this thread. The width of this thread is 30 nanometer fiber, 30 nanometer fiber. Clear to all? So I am simplifying the structure further, so you can understand the structure. So this is 30 nanometer fiber, and if you again compare this 30 nanometer fiber like this, then you will be able to get this fiber with width of 30 nanometer fiber. Now coming next or going next, so this width was 30 nanometer. Again, this zigzag width is more than 30 nanometer, it is 700 nanometer. Here we go. So this thread, you can say that 7 nanometer width have 700 nanometer width. Now here is the chromosome, the more comfortable structure for you, and which you have seen in many textbooks. So this the width of one chromatid is 700 nanometer, another chromatid is also 700 nanometer. So taking together it is 1400 or 1400 nanometer. So I hope I am clear how this DNA is packaged into chromosomes. Although it is oversimplified idea, let's not get confused. There may be some in between many structures. For example, you must have heard, if you go in deep, if you go for higher stages, you will learn about solenoids. So in 30 nanometer fiber, you can see the one structure which is composed of 6 histone octamers, or this octamer is called the nucleosome. Here nucleosome, this octamer is called nucleosome. But if you involve this H1 also, it is also called chromatosome. So I hope I am making some sense. Let me repeat this again, it is quite complicated information for you. So we started with 2 nanometer width DNA, then it was wrapped around a histone octamer, which is spherical like structure, and this histone octamer plus wrapped DNA is called nucleosome. So you can say the unit of chromosome is nucleosome, not the DNA, because chromosomes are made up of DNA plus protein. But in nucleosome we only including this octamer plus DNA, not this H1. If you want to involve this H1, it is called chromatosome. So you can see the periodic attachment of H1 everywhere. You can see the H1. So if you are taking only octamer plus DNA, it is called nucleosome. If you want to involve H1, it will be called chromatosome. And the name also indicates that we are taking the unit of chromatin or chromosome, chromatosome, nucleosome. I hope I am making sense, and if you find it difficult, please rewind the video, review the video, and read your NCERT text and try to reconnect, and let me know if you have any difficulty. Now now you have a general idea how DNA is wrapped or coiled and supercoiled in a chromosome. Now here is another diagram to strengthen your understanding. So let me explain this for you also. Again, as we have discussed, 2 nanometer DNA, then 11 nanometer, you can say nucleosome or chromatosome if you want to include H1 or not, histone plus DNA. Now you are able to see stones here, H1, then 30 nanometer fiber, then again 300 nanometer fiber, again 700 nanometer fiber, and then chromosome. And here you can notice these orange color structures which are called centromere. centromere, kinetochores wrapped around centromere to attach with spindle fibers. Of course, you have learned in class 11th biology. So here is the general idea how DNA is packaged into chromosome. Here is the structure from our NCERT textbook. So here is a structure of nucleosome. Here you can see H1, the octamer. You can see in this diagram only spherical structure is shown as stone octamer. But why I gave you that extra information that it is composed of 8 subunits, 2A, 2B, 3 and 4. Where is 1? Here is the 1, the stone 1, H1. So why I gave this information? These are stones, na? H. You can add H1, H3, H4. So why I gave information? Because the labeling you can see. The labeling is here, like stone octamer. So if you see the simple diagram, here is labeling also there. Octa means 8. So by that discussion you are able to know, okay, this is why this is a stone octamer, because it includes 8 subunits. Then stone. So this is nucleosome. So this is the elementary idea of the packaging. Now if you want to read the statements from NCERT, you can read and you can correlate it. Here is some general information about the length of DNA in bacteria and in human beings and some calculations. And now one more thing, DNA is negatively charged. DNA is negatively charged because from our these videos and from our discussions you can see that phosphorus or phosphate group POOO, if you have seen the nucleotides, structure of nucleotides, the phosphate moiety have negative charge. So because DNA have sugar phosphate backbone or deoxyribose, phosphate deoxyribose, phosphate deoxyribose, phosphate deoxyribose, phosphate backbone, you can easily understand that DNA have negative charge because of phosphate moiety. And now here is one more idea, that these stones are having positive charge. Now you can easily understand why DNA is wrapping around the stones, because stones are positive charge and DNA is negative charge. Very simple to understand. Opposite charges attract each other. And one more thing I want to add, if you find it worthy, you take it, otherwise this is not necessary, but I wanted to explain because this may help you to understand the idea of heterochromatin and euchromatin. What is heterochromatin and what is euchromatin? See, if DNA is compactly packed, very compactly packed in chromosomes or in chromatin, see, chromosome and chromatin are the same things. I know many people will object me, but this is for your understanding, they are all the same. If cell is not dividing, then we call all chromosomes all together as chromatin. If the cell is dividing, then we can easily distinguish the chromosome, then we call them as chromosome. So whether we are calling it chromatin or whether we are calling all the chromosomes, the thing is the same. It is going to be the DNA plus protein, and it doesn't matter it is in form of chromatin or chromosome. DNA will be compactly packed like this: 2 nanometer, 11 nanometer, 30 nanometer, 300 nanometer, 700 nanometer chromatids, and finally 1400 nanometer chromosome in case of metaphase chromosome. You must also remember this. And I also hope that you learn you have an elementary idea of cell cycle also, the G1 phase, the S phase, the G2 phase, and the M phase. And if you want to focus more, you please visit the cell cycle unit of 11th biology. So there you will come to know that sometimes these chromosomes have one chromatid and sometimes these chromosomes have two chromatid. So we when we calculated this 1400 nanometer structure, we are supposing that there are two chromatids, otherwise it will be 700 nanometer width. So I am discussing about the euchromatin and heterochromatin, and one concept I wanted to give you is that stone and DNA are dynamic, have dynamic relationship. So sometimes DNA is loosely packed with stones, sometimes it is tightly packed with stones. Why it do so? Because of the charge differences, because there is acetylation of the stones and acetylation of DNA also. So if what is acetylation, you must be aware about the acetyl groups in organic chemistry. So if acetyl groups are attached on the stone proteins, then DNA will be loosely packed, and if the same acetyl group is attached to the DNA will be completely packed. So methylation, acetylation, there are several processes to control the behavior of DNA and stone and their interactions. So why DNA is loosely packed to the stones or why DNA is compactly packed to stones, it is another deep topic. Let me give you a very brief idea that if DNA is active, I am going to describe that process of transcription, translation, RNA processing, many more processes, DNA replication, which I have given very brief idea in the central dogma of molecular biology: DNA replication, transcription, translation, DNA to DNA, information flow, DNA to RNA, RNA to protein. So for those processes, DNA needs to be unwrapped from histone proteins, and if that happens, that loosening of DNA happens, and that loose DNA is called euchromatin. U means true, U means active. Why heterochromatin? If DNA is not active, by this process it will be compactly packed with histones, and if it is compactly packed, and if we color the nucleus, the compactly packed DNA appear more dark and the loosely packed DNA appears more light. And the idea of heterochromatin and euchromatin, which we have encountered in the unit cell or the chapter cell cycle, now you can easily correlate that thing. When you stain the nucleus, you will find some area lightly stained, you will find some area darkly stained. The darkly stained area was heterochromatin and the lightly colored area was euchromatin. Now you have the idea why that was so, because DNA is loosely packed, that is why it was light, appearing light. The DNA was completely packed, that is why the heterochromatin was looking very dark. And why it is loosely packed or compactly packed? Because if DNA is active in terms of DNA replication, transcription, if these processes are happening, DNA must be unwind or loose. So euchromatin is active chromatin and heterochromatin is passive or inactive chromatin, which you have learned in class 11th biology also. I am making the connections so you can understand the concept better. So I hope I made you aware about the packaging of DNA as well as about the euchromatin and heterochromatin. You go through the text of NCERT textbook, and if you find any difficulty, you let me know by the comments or by the other means of Google Classroom or WhatsApp. I will solve your query. Thank you so much.